Do you live on this plane?
I don't watch UFC at all or MMA or anything.
All right, well, Conor McGregor, he's an Irish dude. He blew onto the scene, just owning people, demolishing people. And he's a big talker, huge smack talker, kind of like Floyd Mayweather. So he's been talking all the talk, and he's been backing it up every time. And then he has this fight against Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz receives the fight with only 2 weeks' notice because the other guy who was supposed to fight him dropped out. He got injured, something like that. So Nate Diaz takes it and beats him with 2 weeks' notice. He had like half of his training camp missing, and it was just an awesome win for vegans everywhere. I mean, and the funny thing is that Joe Rogan is the guy who talks to the winners after they win, right? And he interviews them after they win. And he had to interview Nate Diaz, a vegan who won the UFC championship. And this is right after Joe Rogan was on a podcast talking to the Cowspiracy people about how there's hardly any vegans in the UFC, and then none of the vegans in the UFC are champions and don't ever win because they lack the essential minerals and vitamins from animal products. So it was very, very ironic and very just perfect that Joe Rogan was sitting there interviewing a vegan who just beat his meat-eating UFC former champion. So it was, people are going crazy. All the vegan channels are going crazy. Vegan Gains puts out a video. Durian Ryder, Ted, the fruit living guy, he put out, videos. So it's a great win for the vegan community. I mean, people are going to finally, I think, start seeing this more and more and realize, well, dang, if this person is, maybe you don't need meat to be strong and to be powerful and do all these things, right? So it was a very exciting thing. Maybe it's the huge eclipse that's happening. I don't know.
Maybe it's the eclipse that's going on.
That's causing all this craziness.
I think so. It's definitely a lot of craziness that's going on. But that's great. I think that...
Wait, what are your thoughts? Oh, shit, man. I forgot to put it on me. I'm such an idiot.
Oh, did you not do that?
No, I didn't. So people were listening to me and watching your face the whole time.
Nice.
That's all right.
It's okay.
I'll
put it back on me. But I think that Joe Rogan, he only was able to say that because there's just not that many UFC fighters who are vegan. So the majority, there's a minority there. So obviously, if there's a minority, then it's going to be difficult for the vegans out there. It's going to be like a less percentage,
right,
a less chance.
Of course.
But if there was like a majority of vegans who were in the UFC and the MMA, fighting, then
it'd be only vegans at the top. They'd be
exactly. So his whole argument was just based. He was trying to make a justification based off of numbers, pure numbers, and that's it. But
exactly.
If there was a majority, so he had no argument basically. And then this happened, so he feels extra crazy.
Yeah, and he just put out a tweet or something like that the other day, like very recently, putting an article out saying plants feel pain according to theguardian.com, or something like that. So he's very adamant about his meat eating.
About his meat eating. See.
Yeah, I mean, he wants to. He on his podcast, he's talked about it, and he wants to hunt his own food, and just eat wild game, which is, better than picking it up at the grocery store, but it's still killing animals and causing unnecessary pain. and suffering, which they just don't seem to grasp that that's why we don't do it, right? That's the big reason, and it just so happens that our bodies also react very negatively when we consume these things.
Yes, there's so much research out there. I mean, it's just tons talking about cholesterol and hypertension. I mean, just throughout the years, number one killer is heart attack or cardiac disease.
Yep.
So it's from all the cholesterol that people are eating. When you eat cholesterol, it's going to clog up your arteries. It's just that simple. It's very, very simple. Our bodies make cholesterol. We don't need extra. We don't need any more. The only thing that we quote unquote need is vitamin C. We can get that from fruits and things like that. But we don't need animals at all. And I mean, there's just so much information. I mean, if you just really take a look at nature, if you think that nature is the blueprint of how we should be living, just take a look at nature. Animals who have to eat meat, they have claws, they have sharp teeth, they have senses to chase their food at night. They have these abilities and these tools to eat meat. But
Yes.
human beings, we don't. We don't have those things. We have artificial stuff, like guns and bows and arrows, but it doesn't mean that because we can, doesn't mean we should.
Right. And we it's all instinctual. If you have a dog, or if you have any carnivore or omnivore, and a little squirrel or a rabbit hops by, those animals will instinctually go after it. They will want to attack it and kill it, and they will want to eat it raw, just in that state. And they will be able to tear through the hide. They will be able to tear through the fur and get to the flesh. I'd love to see. So anybody out there who says they're naturally a meat eater, next time you pass by like a rabbit on the street, go over to it and bite into it with your bare teeth and your claws on your fingers, and enjoy, and see if you enjoy that. And if you do, then I'll say that you're a meat eater or an omnivore.